What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop. So recently I made a video covering the top 5 region locations for Generation 8. However, in the past few days, some information has come to my attention that has presented a different yet fascinating idea on what the next Pokemon region could be. Really quick before we get into that though, I need to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, eWin Racing. eWin Racing is a gaming chair company and they sent me this fancy new chair that you see here to try and see if they could make my work days a bit more comfortable, and let me tell you, it has worked wonders. I've always known that gaming chairs like this were good quality, but I've always been skeptical about how much more comfortable they could truly be in a work-like setting where you're kind of sitting up and out of the chair a lot of the time anyway. However, this chair has proven me wrong because it is definitely capable of making your workday at the computer or your gaming sessions way more comfy. For me, the difference comes in the adaptability of the chair itself. It's got a recliner that can be pushed backward or forward depending on how you like to sit to best support your back, and it's also got 2 pillows for your back and neck to provide that extra cushion. However, they can be removed as well if you prefer. The seat itself is also really comfy, and I found that just sitting in it gave me a better posture compared to the kind of slouch I was doing with my previous chair. The seat also has some incline to support a little bit of leaning action, and the armrests are also completely customizable as well. They can be moved up and down, left and right, and forward and backward in order to give you your best seating position possible. Overall, I have been extremely impressed with the quality of this chair, and I would recommend it to anyone who games or works a lot at a desk. If you'd like to pick one up, you can use the link in the description, and using the code HOOPS gets you 10% off, and it directly supports the channel. With all of that said though, let's go ahead and check out the video. So yeah, as I was saying, some information has recently come to my attention that has presented a rather convincing argument as to where exactly the region of the next Pokemon games is going to be based on. My good friend Lockstin recently made a video on his own channel highlighting the unknown of the 3rd Pokemon movie, and that theory is essentially the basis and inspiration for this one, so I highly recommend you go check that video out. With that said though, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the potential answer of where the next Pokemon games are going to take place. Okay, so in Lockstin's theory, he highlighted the Book of Legendary Pokemon that can be seen in the 3rd Pokemon movie. In this book, a number of different pages can be seen that depict an artist's rendition of what some never-before-seen legendary Pokemon could look like. Amongst the pages, we see pictures of the Unknown, we see a picture of Entei, and we see a picture of a fairy as well as a sun sort of looking Pokemon. Now, as has been pointed out by multiple people, including Lockstin in his own theory, this sun Pokemon that is pictured on a page of the book could actually represent Solgaleo and the Alola region, as obviously Solgaleo is the sun Pokemon, and it is overshadowing or overlooking a tropical island-esque place. The page with the fairy on it, ironically enough, also comes right before the page with Solgaleo, as Lockstin points out, and in the 6th generation, which came right before the 7th generation, we were obviously introduced to the fairy type, which kind of makes this seem like it's a hint or it's alluding to generations 6 and 7 respectively. So now that we've established that this book kind of does have a track record for predicting the future of Pokemon, we can finally take a look at the picture with the Unknown. In this picture, the Unknown are floating around in a sort of celestial pattern, and you can also see a man standing on a cliff overlooking them as if he's sort of guiding them or commanding them. Now this is where my own personal idea for this information starts to take shape. On Lockstin's side of things, he highlights how the area where this event is taking place with the Unknown resembles Spear Pillar because of the Greek-esque pillars in the background resembling that of those that are at the Spear Pillar. Lockstin also points out how the man in the picture also looks like what God looks like in Christian terms, and that since this is an artist's rendition of what Pokemon could look like, this could be an artist's rendition of Arceus, the god of the Pokemon world, using Unknown to essentially create the world, since it has been said that Arceus created the world starting at Spear Pillar, and it has been speculated that the 1,000 arms that Arceus used to create the world are actually the Unknown themselves. Another interesting thing that Lockstin points out with these Unknown is that every single letter in this pattern of the Unknown are represented, except one, and that would be G. However, as great as Lockstin's theory is on this, which once again you should check out, I am not here to simply summarize and highlight his theory. I've got my own idea to present, and this is where my own idea actually starts to come about. Remember how we talked about how this book tends to predict the future of the Pokemon world, and how the other two pictures with the Fairy and the Sun Pokemon predicted Gens 6 and Gen 7? Well, what if this particular picture is actually predicting Gen 8 and where Generation 8 is going to take place? If we take a look once again at the pillars that are resting behind the unknown in this picture, you will see that they resemble Greek pillars that are used in both old and new Greek architecture. On top of this, do you remember how I said that the G unknown is the only unknown letter that is missing in this picture? Well, while Lockstin speculated that the G could stand for God, representing Arceus as the old man in this picture, I also feel like that the G could also stand for Greece, representing the Greece setting of this picture. That's right, I feel like this picture could be sneakily hinting at a possible Greece region coming for Generation 8 and for Generation 8 specifically. And there's more evidence than just this that a Greek-based region could be coming. Also, in the third Pokemon movie, there are several forms of unknown that have never been seen anywhere else in the franchise, and wouldn't you know it, these forms of unknown represent various letters of the Greek alphabet, including upper and lowercase sigma, pi, and even omega. Now, the real head scratcher is why would Pokemon take the time to create special forms of the unknown that didn't even feature in the story of this movie, let alone the entirety of the rest of the Pokemon world? It seems like they were kind of a throwaway design, but it seems like it's kind of a special design, and it seems like it required some extra work for it to just be a throwaway thing that was never going to be featured or looked at again for the rest of Pokemon's lifetime, essentially. But it really makes so much sense when you combine these Greek-based unknown with the fact that this legendary Pokemon book seems to predict a lot of Pokemon's future, and in this same book, a Greek-based region is potentially being hinted at. It just really comes together so well. In Lockstin's side of the theory, he talked about more of the Gen 4 aspects of this picture and how it could possibly represent Arceus using the unknown to create the Pokemon world from the Spear Pillar. However, this explanation also perfectly fits in with how this picture could be perfectly predicting not just Generation 8 in terms of the new region, but the entirety of Generation 8. This is because it's very likely that the Generation 4 remakes, if they ever happen, are very likely to happen in Generation 8 just because they're more than likely going to happen within the next 2 or 3 years if they do happen, which is when Generation 8 will be active. So, to Lockstin's point and my own, I believe that this picture is representing, hinting at, and predicting that the Generation 8 Pokemon games are going to be featuring a region based on Greece, and on top of that, we are going to be receiving Generation 4 Diamond and Pearl remakes at some point during this generation. And there we have it, everyone. Now, even though this could just be a coincidence, I am personally convinced enough to say that this is going to be my official prediction for what's going to happen with Generation 8. And even though this might seem kind of crazy because our main piece of evidence is almost 20 years old, this book does seem to have a trend and a habit of predicting the future of Pokemon, so I'm willing to put my foot out there and say this has at least a decent chance of actually happening. If you enjoyed the video though, be sure to give it a like and let me know down in the comments below what you think of this theory, and if you would personally like to see a Pokemon region based on Greece for Generation 8. Also, go check out Lockstin's own theory because it is the inspiration for this one, as I said, and one more time I just want to thank Ewan again for providing the channel with this amazingly comfortable chair. Like I said earlier, you can click the link in the description to get one for yourself if you'd like, and using the code HOOPS gets you 10% off, and it directly supports the channel. With all that being said though, I will be back on Thursday for another video, so I hope you guys are excited for that. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday and Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until the next one, as always, I will smell you guys later.